So whenever you have to carry out any conversion, remember that the best route is through the Rx, that is the alkyl halide. Now suppose if you have been given an alkane, how will you prepare an alkyl halide, that you all know. So from the alkyl halide, if suppose that alkyl halide is treated with another molecule of alkyl halide, or it is treated with sodium in the presence of dry ether, then what will happen? That this will be called the Woods reaction, and you can prepare an alkane having double the number of carbon atoms as it was present in the alkyl halide. So what have you got? You have got an alkane. Next is that if you have got an alkane, from an alkane, if you want to prepare an alkene, it's very simple. How will you do this? Treat it with the halogen, say suppose chlorine, in the presence of sunlight. What will you get? That you will get that R or whatever RH, and then you will get an alkyl halide. Again you will be getting, but remember that it will be RCH2X. Suppose you can treat it as like that. Now if you are treating it with alcoholic KOH, what will you get in that case? You will get an alkene, that is C double bond C. So that is, you will be getting an alkene. So these are very ways, and once you have got an alkene, you can convert it into the alkyne also. Now moving on to the next kind of the reaction. If alkyl halide is being given to you and you are going to treat it with suppose aqueous KOH. So if it is being treated with aqueous KOH, you will be getting what? ROH. What is ROH? You have got an alcohol. So in case if oxygen is to be added up, the route will be through the alcohol. Now once you have got an alcohol, if alcohol is being oxidized, so maybe depending upon the kind of alkyl halide you have taken, you might be getting a primary, secondary or a tertiary alcohol if you are going to oxidize this. Now there are many oxidizing agents. I am taking the crucial one, that is, say suppose CrO3 you have taken, you will get an aldehyde, that is RCHO. You will get initially an aldehyde. In case if the oxidation is being done with KMnO4, suppose the strong oxidizing agent, you will get a carboxylic acid RCOOH. In case if the alcohol which you have got, that was a secondary alcohol, you will be getting a ketone here on oxidizing with CrO3. So you have got an aldehyde and you have got a carboxylic acid also. Once you have got a carboxylic acid, if you are treating it with ammonia, say NH3, then what will happen? Acid, and this is basic in nature, so you will get R, C double bond O, NH2, that is an amide you can get. Now once you have got an amide, then further you can get so many other kind of compounds. You have got an amide. Fine. Now moving on to the next other kind of reactions which you can also obtain. If Rx, that is alkyl halide, is treated with say KCN, potassium cyanide. So these were all about, then the oxygen has to be introduced. So these are all the groups you can get that. कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड से आप एस्टर भी बना सकते हो, अल्कोहल से तुम ईथर भी बना सकते हो. So every functional group can be prepared and that you can take up. So you just have to guess that how can you prepare an ether starting from an alcohol. You can guess, you can fill up this thing here. Similarly, carboxylic acid on reaction with something that you have to decide will give you an ester as well. So that also you can decide that which group should be there. I'm leaving a few blanks for you to solve, right? Now if KCN is being means Rx is being treated with KCN, so what happens? I hope you remember that K plus and Cn minus, so X will be going out and in the place of X it will be Cn that would be introduced. So your product will be RCN. Now cyanide or the CN group has been introduced. Now you can see that one carbon has been increased. So whenever you have to increase one carbon, always follow the route of CN. Alright, whenever you have to double the number of carbon atoms, then follow the route through Wood's reaction, and then further you can go on. Now this alkene can be converted again to the alcohol, and all these mutual conversions can happen. Now if CN, that is cyanide group, has been formed, or alkyl cyanide or cyanoalkene has been obtained, if you allow this to be reduced, H2 in the presence of any metal it is present, so say suppose iron and tin and hydrogen is being taken, your product will be what? So it's just the reduction, so it is R CH2 NH2, that is you have got an amine, fine. Now this this is a primary amine. Now depending upon the position of the halogen in your alkyl halide, you can get a secondary amine, you can also get a tertiary amine, fine. Now if the CN is being hydrolyzed, hydrolyzed means reaction with water in the presence of an acid, what will be your product? See, this is a two-step reaction. I am saying the partial hydrolysis is being done. So on partial hydrolysis, this will give you RC double bond O NH2, that is an amide. Which on further hydrolysis, that is with water NH plus, that means you can say that this is a complete hydrolysis. So if it is complete hydrolysis, means 2 moles of water are being taken, directly you will be getting this product, that is RC double bond O OH, fine. So you can see that again you have got a carboxylic acid, means from nitrogen is gone off, and you have got an oxygen containing compound, that is carboxylic acid. Once the carboxylic acid is obtained, again an ester and acid chloride, acid halide, so many other compounds can be prepared. Alright, next dekho. In case if this alkyl halide is being treated with AgCN, now what will happen? Reaction with AgCN will always give you RN triple bond C, fine. What is this? Isocyanide. Now in case if isocyanide has been obtained and you reduce this thing on reduction again with metal and any kind of hydrogen and the active metal, so your product will be what? Can you think? It would be RNHCH3. That is, you will be getting a secondary amine, fine. Now if you have got a secondary amine, then what other, like if you want to convert the secondary amine to the tertiary amine, again you can sakte ho reaction, allow this to react with RX, and you will be able to get, say if it is R dash X, you will get RN R dash and CH3, means what you have got? You have got a tertiary amine. Okay. Is there any other reaction which can be carried out with this? I hope that all the functional groups have been included. Now only thing which is left is the introduction of NO2, so that can also be happening. If this is allowed to react with what? NaNO2 के साथ reaction कर दो इसको NaNO2 के साथ. So it is NaNO2, then or AgNO2, both the ways you will be getting a nitrite and nitrate, both the groups can be introduced. So here you will be getting what? देखो, you will get RNO2, so nitroalkane मिल सकता है, and then further you can carry on the reactions. So there are n number of ways by which you can carry out these conversions. Remember, if you have to introduce something related to the nitrogen, go through CN groups, right? If you have to introduce something related to oxygen, follow this aqueous KOH route, or you can go from that side. In case if the number of carbons have to be increased, then follow this route. If the same number of carbons should be there, follow this route. If the carbon has to be increased along with the nitrogen, follow this route. Number of carbons to be increased in doubles or so many number of carbon atoms to be introduced in just one step. Follow this route through the Woods reaction. One more thing I want to share here, that how are you going to reach to this point, that is for alkyl halide. In case if an alkane has been given to you, alkane means it is RH. Got it? So from alkane, how will you get this RX? Simple sa reaction hai. Treat it with halogen. The simplest one is chlorination of alkanes. In the presence of sunlight, you will get an alkyl halide. So that's how you can get. One more thing, if this carboxylic acid is there and from carboxylic acid you want to prepare an alkane, what will you do? Follow the decarboxylation reaction. So यहाँ से इसको आपस में interconnect कर सकते हो. If the decarboxylation, that is heating with soda lime. Soda lime is NaOH and calcium oxide के साथ heat कर दिया. Again you will get this alkane. Although it is not the end, you can still find so many interconnections in this entire conversion method. Just think that from where, what has been given to you and where you have to reach. So it's all interconnected. You can still find so many cross connections, and so many other groups also can be allowed to react or convert starting from any of these compounds. So you two Phillips I have left for you, how to prepare ether and ester. A hint, ether के लिए ROH whatever is there, treat it with H2SO4 and a temperature is specific, and here a special compound from this only has to react with carboxylic acid in the presence of an acid, and that will give you ester. You have read about this reaction esterification so many times that you have to decide. Okay, thank you.